Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Yamuna Tira Jayo Radha Madhava Punjabi Srimad satin biyasam
Devim satin vyasam
Tojayam Udiraya Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 14. Text.
39.
Text number 1. This chapter is entitled The Disappearance of Lord Krishna. Please repeat. Sutta Uvacha
Sutta Uvacha
Samprastite Dwarkakayam
Samprastite Dwarakayam
Samprastite Dwarakayam
Samprastite Dwarakayam
Jisno Bandhu Dudikshaya
Jisno Bandhu Didrikshaya
Natum Cha Punya Slokasya
Yatum Cha Punya Slokasya
Krishna Shacha Vichestitam
Krishna Shacha Vichestitam
Ukta Uvacha
Sutta Uvacha
Samprastite Dwarakayam
Samprastite Dwarakayam
Jisno Bandhu Didrikshaya
Vishnu Bandhu Didrikshaya
Natunja Punya Slokasya Krishna Shacha Vichestitam
Samprastite Dwarakayam
Samprastite Dwarakayam
Just now Bandhu Didrikshaya
Just now Bandhu Didrikshaya
Atum Cha Punya Slokasya
Atum Cha Punya Slokasya
Krishna Shacha Vichestitam
Krishna Shacha Vichestitam
Sutta Uvacha
Sutta Uvacha
Samprastite Dwarakayam
Samprastite Dwarakayam
Jisno Bandhu Didrikshaya
Jisno Bandhu Didrikshaya
Natam Cha Punya Slokasya
Atum Cha Punya Slokasya
Krishna Saya Cha Vishtitam
Krishna Shacha Vichestitam.
Must have been a rap that got you good at Sanskrit from doing all that rap.
Yeah, it was really good.
The rhythm or something.
Sutta Uvacha Samprastite Dwarakayam
Samprastite Dwarakayam
Jishno Bandhu Didikshaya
Jisno Bandhu Didrikshaya
Jnatum Cha Punya Slokasya
Natum Cha Punya Slokasya
Krishnasya Cha Vichestitam
Krishna Shacha Vichestitam. Ladies.
Sutta Uvacha
Sutta Uvacha
Samprastite Dwarakayam
Samprastite Dwarakayam
Vishnu Bandhu Didrikshaya
Jisno Bandhu Didrikshaya
Yatum Cha Punya Slokasya
Yatum Cha Punya Slokasya
Krishnasya Cha Vichestitam
Krishna Shacha Vichestitam. Word for word. Sutta Uvacha. Sri Sutta Goswami said. Samprastite, having gone to Dwarkayam, the city of Dwarka, Jisna, Arjuna, Bandhu, friends and relatives, Drikshaya, for meeting them, Yatum, to know, Cha, what's that mean?
Also
We've learned that much. Punya Slokasya, of one whose glories are sung by the Vedic hymns. Krishna's of Lord Krishna. Cha and.
Oh, there was also.
Vichestitam, further programs of work.
further programs of work.
Translation. Sri Sutta Goswami said,
Sri Sutta Goswami said,
Arjuna went to Dwarka
Arjuna went to Dwarka
to see Lord Krishna
to see Lord Krishna
and other friends,
and other friends,
and also to learn from the Lord
and also to learn from the Lord
of his next activities.
of his next activities.
Sri Sutta Goswami said, Arjuna went to Dwarka to see Lord Krishna, see Lord Sri Krishna, and other friends, and also to learn from the Lord of his next activities. Purport by His divine grace, Srila Prabhupada. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord descended on earth for the protection of the faithful and annihilation of the impious. What's the verse?
Yada yada
Yada yada hidam saglani bhagavad abhutanam
adharmasya sijamaham paritranam sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge.
Translation?
Whenever and wherever there is decline in religious principles and a rise in irreligious activities, I descend myself as I am to reestablish the principles of Dharma.
And to annihilate
The demons.
the mysteries. So this verse fit right there. So I got to. Prabhupada always puts in a verse, you know, and it's like he's always showing about authority, you know. So he's trained us. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord descended on earth for the protection of the faithful and annihilation of the impious. So after the battle of Kurukshetra and establishment of Maharaj Yudhisthira, the mission of the Lord was complete. The Pandavas, especially Sri Arjuna, were eternal companions of the Lord, and therefore Arjuna went to Dwarka to hear from the Lord of his next program of work. Om Maganati Mananda Shagana Dhyana Salakaya Chakshu So as you get into this verse, we're going to this chapter. You're going to start hearing the impious omens begin coming because we know that when Krishna descends, there's many wonderful omens, many wonderful signs, auspicious. But when Krishna leaves, it's not so, everything gets kind of weird. You know, you have jackals howling at the moon, shooting stars, you know, all these things, falling meteors, all that stuff. You know, animals passing you on the wrong side, you know, jackals barking at the moon, and you know, people who used to respect you no longer respecting you, and you know, so in general, Kali Yuga.
Something's another day.
Yes, I'm saying in general, Kali Yuga. So, and Srila Prabhupada points that out too in the purport that in Kali Yuga these omens are always bad. You shouldn't be alarmed. It's already there. It's Kali Yuga, you know. So, but anyway, it wasn't Kali Yuga. It was Treta Yuga. Right?
Dwapar.
Dwapar Yuga, I meant to say. Dwapar Yuga, I meant to say. So we've been talking about Treta Yuga yesterday. Yogendra and I were in Treta Yuga. Somebody's talking about the red incarnation. We had golden hair and had auspicious ladle. We did it in Chaitanya Chakramrita class, and so everybody wondered who it was. And it was Jagna. It was Vishnu incarnation who came. Jagna, he had many names. Urkram, just different names. But the main thing is that it was Jaga, Vishnu incarnation who appeared in Treta Yuga for the purpose of sacrifice, teaching people how to perform justice. In each yuga, things get progressively more external. In Satya Yuga, 60,000 years, silent meditation. Totally within. Totally meditating on the absolute truth. Then, the next yuga, as things progress, Chaitya Yuga becomes a little bit more external. Agnihotra, and fire sacrifice. And the next Yuga becomes a little bit more external. Temple worship. That's why you see 5,000 years ago the Yuga changed. You see all these temples, still there, remnants. Only a fool could deny the truth of this. Only a person with vested motives could not see the authenticity of this postulation that we're putting forward just now. This truth, this absolute truth. 5,000 years ago, there were many temples all over the place. You see the remnants everywhere. Huge temples. They get that one in Cambodia. Huge. Angkor Wat or something like that.
Angkor Wat.
Huh?
Angkor Wat.
Angkor Wat. So the Wat means temple. This huge, huge place. A sprawling temple. What was this all about? And then you see on the walls, you see Krishna dancing, you know. And we don't know what this used to be. It could have been a Hindu temple or something. It's like, it's a Hare Krishna temple, you fool. You know, so it's like the archaeologists, all these people, they're floundering around, but Prabhupada already told us what it was. It was during that year period before you go temple worship. So you wanted to worship, go back home back to Godhead, you built a huge temple. The Goswamis even were still, you know, we need to build a temple. So then the next Yuga comes, and this is the Yuga that we were talking about beginning in this verse. Because that's when Krishna left. When Krishna left, we're right at the junction of the two ages. See, Krishna appears in each Yuga. No doubt about that. It's predicted. Thousands of years before it happens, it's already predicted. So we know who the next incarnation will come. People say, well, was God coming back? Yeah, He's coming back. You know, and they have these things in the Bible where they do the whole prophecies, what's it called, Revelations. And they have, you know, Lord coming on a white horse with a sword. Right, you got it. You got it. Who is it? Kalki. So Kalki comes, there's a whole scripture already written about him. It's called the Kalki Purana. And the Kalki Purana tells where he was going to be born, who his father's going to be, what street he's going to be, and what his mission is going to be, and his pastimes while he's here. At one point he gets wounded, fighting some emperor. They say the guy was speculating, but he thinks it was Korea or somewhere like that. He was fighting some emperor, and the emperor, you know, wounded him. And Kalki was down, but the emperor withdrew rather than attacking. And so then Kalki, you know, gained his strength again, and then he defeated this emperor. So this emperor gave him a horse, a white horse. So the horse is a special significance in Kalki avatar. So they're taking applications now for that role. If you want to be a horse, and that Kalki ride on your back, you have to perform austerities for 10,000 years. You have to stay at your Talavana, and you have to take care of the cows. And at the end of that, you can come back and be Kalki's horse. Would you do it?
God's working.
Somebody's going to be the horse. Somebody gets to be the horse. Can you imagine that? Huh? Fighting with Kalki, chivalry, you know, being attacked from all sides, you know, dodging and running and protecting the Lord and taking him off the battlefield. If with a horse, you know, any entity who can be in Krishna Lila, doesn't matter what we are. That's the realization we have to come to. Any entity, a blade of grass in Vrindavan. Why? It's not external. Happiness comes from within. All the bodies we see around us, we judge. Oh, this person is this person is this person is this. All nonsense. Russian, American, Hindu, German, whatever. All nonsense. It's all Maya. We are an eternal part and parcel of Krishna. Tiny, 1/10,000th the tip of a hair. So, our Leela of enjoying with Krishna is our eternal Leela. It means if we can reestablish our eternal Leela with Krishna, it doesn't end when the body ends. It's eternal. So here we see a very inauspicious time because Krishna is leaving the planet. Nobody's happy about that. Nobody is happy about that. It's all, everybody's, it's an unhappy time. There's no way to make it, paint it, or slant it. It's a very inauspicious, unhappy day from Mother Earth. Krishna's leaving. It's a time to hang your head. It's a time to, you know, moan and groan and cry and woe is me. But it points out not everybody got left behind. Some people went with Krishna and did it again and again and again, eternally. That is actual reality. This is temporary Maya illusion. Is not our reality, but yet we live in it as if it's real and we can't break free from it because we are fulfilling our desires. So the obvious answer to the problem is we have to change our desire. So the desire can change once we've experienced a pleasure alternative. Until we experience a pleasure alternative, our desires are going to be too strong. I was just reading about when Agnivra, the son of I'm sorry?
Parshuram, Jamadagni.
No, Agnivra. This was the son of Marge Priyavata. Marge Priyavatas had any of his descendants, and Agnivra was became emperor, and he had a desire. There's a little something missing, and I can't quite remember. My mind won't quite remember the little detail about the dissemination between Marge Priyavata and King Agnivra. But suffice it to say, his father is a great soul. But his father, when he conceived him, he was passionate. He was in a mood of passion, enjoyment. So Agnivra, as a king, automatically had a desire manifest in him to enjoy in Pitraloka. He said, I want to go to Pitraloka. Just had that desire. So he's a great, great devotee. You know, just like us, he had a desire to go to Pitraloka. If he come to you and said, hey, I want to go to Pitraloka, you got you in Maya. What's wrong with you? You don't want to go to Pitraloka, you want to go to Krishnaloka. You know, what are you doing? What are you thinking? But it wasn't like condemned. It was pointed out that he had that desire because he was conceived in a mood of passion, and so by nature, his karma was he had that desire. So what did he do? He goes and he meditates and worships Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma is called sometimes Bhagavan because he's the first living entity in this universe. He's not Krishna, but he's called Bhagavan because he has opulences and things, but not like Krishna. But because he's so respected as a devotee, prophet said sometimes a great devotee is called Bhagavan. So Agnivra began to worship Lord Brahma, and as he did, he's in silent meditation, you know, and then all of a sudden he hears the ankle bells. And he opens his eye a little bit, and he sees this heavenly damsel, Apsara, sent by Lord Brahma, beyond, her name was Urvashiti, right?
Urvasi?
Pravasiti. What is it? Wait, you guys are messing me up now. I had it for a minute there. What is it? Spell it.
Urvasi.
She's the famous one.
Urvasi.
A lot.
Maybe.
Might have been somebody.
Close. We're getting close. We're somewhere in the ball game. Anyway, she comes. She's very attractive. And so Maharaja Nidra, of course, he's been meditating for a long time. So he's the material world is not his thing. You know, he's went inward to the spiritual realm, and he's just meditating on Krishna. And so, it didn't give details about his meditation, so it could have been Lord Brahma, but the point being is that he opened his eyes and he saw this heavenly damsel, Apsara, sent by Lord Brahma. Say Purvachiti. But anyway, she was there, and he saw her. And when he saw her, because he'd been meditating for so long, he was kind of like, confused. He's like, "Are you? What are you doing? You're carrying those big balls and playing with balls and stuff, you know? Surely, you're an intelligent Brahmin. Otherwise, how would you be so?" He just got all confused, because he didn't meditate for so long. So the Bhagavatam then goes into a detailed explanation of how this great sage, who was a pure devotee basically, was meditating on Lord Brahma to get a desire in Pitra Loka, and goes through all of the aspects, hearing from the pure devotee, Srila Prabhupada, about how sex desire is so amazingly strong that he was just bewildered by it. And he just totally just became enraptured by this desire to enjoy with Siti. So it was a detailed explanation, and it done in a kind of a humorous way, in a way, but like having fun, interacting. And so you wonder, why is this here in Bhagavatam? Why are you hearing all this desire? It's many reasons. One is, I thought about it, I thought, my God, I want to be a devotee of Krishna, but if some Apsara came back, would we say, Hare Krishna? Huh? Would we? Yeah, heavenly pleasures beyond your wildest imagination. We're not talking about a good movie or something. You're talking about this unlimited material in the heavenly regions. Just like pleasures beyond our mortal brains can comprehend. No anxiety. No hang-ups. In the heavenly regions, there's no of this, somebody busted for having an affair with someone or something. It's like, it's okay. You can have relations with anybody. There's no hang-up about that. Yeah, sure, you can have sex with your mother. It's okay. It's not nasty. It's pure. It's a highly evolved consciousness. How do we know? I don't know how that works out. But I'm saying it's there. And you read Mahabharata, you read other books. It's like, that happens a lot. But the saintly people reject that, of course. But in the heavenly regions, the whole concept of, running around with no clothes on, and it's all there. It's there. That pleasure is like beyond your comprehension. So here, we're like, the pleasure is so small. So we think, some Mataji comes by, it's not dressed properly, your mind gets a little agitated. But if an Apsara came, we would be like rolling on the ground, slobbering, It's like, anything, lead me wherever you want, I'm yours, Prabhu, where are you going? Come back. We couldn't control our senses. We think we could. That's impossible. But Srila Prabhupada could. That's the point. Srila Prabhupada could. And he did. And has. And now when he came to America, they asked him, what is your special power? The taxi cab driver man asked him. He said, most of these yogis come, they have special power. What is your special power? Prabhupada said, I can be alone in the room with many beautiful women unclothed. But even though I'm very virile, I would be unexpected. can imagine the taxi driver's like, whoa, I never heard that one, I thought you were going to maybe eat some fire or something, So, the point being is that Prabhupada pointed out, he's unaffected by this. Why? Param drishtva nivartate. He has a higher taste. It's not artificial. We may think right now that we've renounced, but actually what we've done is most of us, not all of us, but most of us, are coming from being burned out, they call it, in the material world. We were basically, disillusioned by, the material energy. It wasn't giving us what we were looking for, so we thought, let me look for something else. And we discovered something else, very wonderful something else. But we're just beginning this process. This is our first, a lot of us, our first introduction to this process of Krishna consciousness like this. So here we are, and we're challenged with the fact that Prabhupada said, many of my disciples, they go to heaven. They go to heaven. You want to go to heaven? I don't want to go to heaven. You know why? Because you die in heaven. Huh? What's that verse?
Abrahma Uvanaloka Unyarvadina Arjuna.
Yes. From the highest planet to the lowest, all the places of misery, we're in repeated birth and death. So if we go to heaven, right now is a cool time to meditate on the fact, I don't want to go to heaven, because we don't have the option. You don't have Apsara right here with the ankle bells and the whole fragrance, smelling, and beauty, and like your mind bewildered and you're thinking, I want to be a devotee, but Jesus, I'm sorry, Prabhu, I got to go. We had one devotee in Detroit or somewhere like that. He met this, he was a sannyasi, and he met this rich Japanese supposed heiress to the Nissan or Toyota or something like that.
He was.
Huh?
What is it? He died at Talavana in Brooklyn.
Yeah. So anyway, he met this so-called heiress, and I guess there was somehow another sanction that he could go ahead and follow his relationship with her in order to spread Krishna consciousness. But it turned out to be a whole hoax, and he fell on. But he was just like so enamored with this woman. Wealth was part of the equation, I'm sure. But the point being is
it wasn't beauty, I'll tell you that.
Huh?
It wasn't beauty.
Yeah. So wealth is another aspect. Someone comes and offers you the right money, the right this, the right that, the right beautiful girl, the right this, right that, and they say, but you can't stay in this Hare Krishna process anymore. You can't be a yogi. You have to become a, karmi. You have to enjoy. So we may act like, okay, I'm a Hare Krishna, but we haven't really been tested a lot. We don't really have much option here, especially us old people. It's like, we're done. What are we going to do? Go back to college or something,
Can I
It's
just
over.
ask what happened?
Yes, ma'am.
When you found out she wasn't who she said she was. I've never known
But following it on, when he found out that she wasn't who she said she was.
What happened?
Yeah.
I've never heard.
They split up.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of like an awkward situation. He had already fallen attached and left. So the point was is that, there's all these, when you're tested, when you're attracted, it's not artificial. The pure devotee doesn't have to, go within and, fight with Shakti or something. It's just, he has another taste. That's the point. You have another taste. So Lord Krishna was leaving the planet. Some people were very, very fortunate because like Arjuna, he went with Krishna. And many souls that were with Krishna in his Leela went with Krishna. You don't have a bad day when you're with Krishna. You don't have Apsaras being attracted to you. You don't. Why? Because the only thing that's attracted to you is Krishna. Bottom line, simplistic philosophy, Krishna is more attractive. The pleasure derived from the lotus feet of the Lord is millions of times greater than any material pleasure. Bottom line. This is a fact. If you can somehow, if we can somehow grab hold of the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada, grab hold and hold on, and chant Hare Krishna very seriously, you can go back to Vaikuntha Loka or Vrindavan, Goloka Vrindavan. You don't have to take birth in this material world, and you won't feel like you left something behind. You won't feel like you're missing something. Why? Because you'll be getting, if you read in Srimad Bhagavatam, the pleasure derived by Krishna's devotees of seeing him. It's like they're drinking Krishna's beauty. They're drinking Krishna's beauty with their eyes. They're just like, they're drinking it, and it's not external. It's internal. It's awareness. It's a vision. It's a perception. So the more we're able to perceive that reality, the more we become attracted to it, because what's Krishna's name mean?
Electric.
That should be a hint right there. That nothing's more attractive than Krishna. Nothing is more attractive than Krishna. The Apsaras are not more attractive. The heavenly regions, the wealth, everything is not. But we have developed a desire to enjoy. We can't be dishonest about it. Within us, we're cheating all the time. The mind is trying to cheat us and give us options. That's what the mind does. Accepting and rejecting. Accepting and rejecting. So we're accepting and rejecting different options. So now, Srimad Bhagavatam class is for the sole purpose of giving us the best option. Am I here to promote an agenda? Yes. Am I here to try to change your life? Yes. Am I here to try to persuade you to do something? Yes. I'm here to tell you everything philosophically and spiritually from the pure devotees, from the Shastra, from everything points out that the pleasure derived from 1 second of Krishna Satya is greater than millions of other pleasures. Now, you just have to buy into it. You just have to accept it. If you accept it, then all you have to do is beg Srila Prabhupada. All you have to do is fall in and beg Krishna. Beg him. Please, Lord, let me become one of those eternal associates. Let me see you. Let me see the light emanating from your lotus stone. Every time I see you, let me see something new and fresh and all attractive. I'll never have a bad day again. There's no bad days with Krishna. There's no anarthas. There's no incongruities. There's no difficulty. It's everything is beautiful. Every second of every moment. You don't wake up in the morning and think, oh my God, I got to blah, blah, blah. My body don't think, how am I going to go build this guest house? Let me pray to Krishna. Nothing is a problem because your desires are all fulfilled. It's the greatest of all attainments. That's why it's so hard, Prabhus. That's why we don't just, come to the temple and all of a sudden, we're sitting on the Vyasa-san, pure devotee, like Srila Prabhupada does. It's very difficult to give up our material desires. So, difficulty means you have to work harder. Is it possible? Yes. It is absolutely possible. Now, is it easy? Absolutely not. Can you do it? Absolutely you can do it. Will we do it? Some of us will. I may not, but some of you will. And so, how do we do it? Simple. When you chant Hare Krishna, you don't think about one thing. It's like, I want to be your eternal associate. I want to hear your holy name. I want to develop my love for you. I don't care about anything else. I don't want anything else. I don't need anything else. All I need is that moment of association of your lotus feet. If I get that, like Dhruva Maharaj said, I don't want anything. The Lord's offering Dhruva. Okay, you come for some material desire. Let me fulfill it now. The Lord is going to fulfill it, your desire. I don't want it. No. I don't want anything. All I want only is to serve your lotus feet. All I want to do is be with you. Please, let me be with you. Let me be with you. You understand? You get to be can imagine the austerity Srila Prabhupada felt having to come here after being with Krishna. Prabhupada said, Krishna told me to come here. I said, I don't want to. Prabhupada said that. Prabhupada said, I don't want to. There's too many austerities. Krishna said, I will take your austerities. You don't have to worry about that. So Prabhupada came from Krishna. Being with Krishna every day. If you read about when Krishna returned from Dwarka, it's one of the most eloquently written exposés on the soul awareness of Krishna. It talks about how they would see his lotus toenails and his smiling face. Everybody was seeing something different, and everything they were seeing, they had never seen before. See, we can't comprehend what we're going to experience, but the truth is, if you want it, that's all you got to do. All you got to do is really, really just buckle down, realize one thing. The only way I can get out of this cycle of birth and death is to change my desire. The only way to change my desire is to hear constantly about Krishna. I know it's hard. I know it's hard. The mind is constantly trying to drag us somewhere else. And you may say, well, it's easy for you because you're old. You're right, it is. It's much easier when you're old. Yeah, it is. You don't have, people hanging around you telling you how attractive you are or something, your senses don't work right, your body don't work right, etc., etc. It's a fact. Your body's finished, so it's easier. But that's factored into the equation. Because if you stick it out till you get old, then you catch a little bit of a break on one platform. On another one, it's much harder because your senses are still driving, you're still wanting, but they're kind of like just wasted. Oh, wore out. Most people aren't going to tell you this. Gokul and I can be honest. Ushaya maybe a little bit. We can be honest and tell you, Prabhu, I'm not going out on a date anymore. Prabhu, I'm finished with sense gratification. You know what I do? I stay close to the medicine cabinet and the bathroom. People say, why don't you go here? And I'm thinking, I can't leave my bathroom. It's the way the body is. It's just the process. We don't have to hide and think, oh my God, you mean you're telling us you're useless? Well, I'm useless as teats on a billy goat's neck. You're wasted. You're finished, right? But, Prabhupada said, this is the but, the caveat. If you stick it out in Krishna consciousness, you may get the chance when you're older to really go for it. You may. If you stick it out and you keep trying. If you get serious, even if you're old, it's okay. Everyone knows you have no options. No one's acting like you're a big yogi. Everyone knows you're wasted and you should be in an old folks' home. But the point being is you're here and you really have garnered the wisdom, the congealed assimilation of the awareness. Krishna's too Bhagavan Swayam. I have no doubts now that Krishna is the absolute truth, that it's Summum Bonum, the cause of all causes, it never happened. And that the Supersoul is directing the wanderings of all living entities. Everything's going on by Supersoul. I didn't always think like that. I was always thinking I was the doer. I'm the one controlling things. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Now I'm looking, and I'm realizing, it's all true. This philosophy is 100% true. Why couldn't I know that when I was young? Because I was too distracted by my senses, my mind, and my desires, and just coming out of the material world. I've been so conditioned through a prism of thinking that God is this entity portrayed by this Western theology, not understanding the all-attractive nature of Krishna. So Krishna, as I get old, I look a little bit more at Shyamasundar and I think, wow, Krishna's beautiful. Krishna's so attractive. I'm not ashamed to say, when I see the deities, I'm just like, my God, they're so beautiful. They're so wonderful. Why? Because it's like we've been around a long time, and Krishna starts to allow you to get a little bit of the nectar from it. It's a fact. But you have to know it to be true, and you have to know how to guard against it. The only way to guard against the apsaras and the material energy attracting us is if we really truly go deep into an internal spiritual meditation on the holy name, and we really take the nectar. We really take the nectar of the holy name. You can really take the nectar of the holy name, and when you take the nectar of the holy name, your eyes fill with tears. You're feeling your heart ready to burst with happiness, and you say, Krishna! Krishna! I surrender to you! I don't want anything else. And Krishna, seeing your sincerity, Krishna gives you a drop of nectar. That nectar is so intense, it's so wonderful, that in your next birth, you transmigrate. When you leave your body, you're only thinking about that. You see? I'm going to die soon. Everybody knows it. And when I die, people are going to say, oh, I wonder what happened to him. Where did he go? What was he thinking? What was it like? Right? Who's going to know the answer to that question? Only me. Only this individual soul that's going to know what I'm doing when I transmigrate out of this body. So what should I do? I should prepare myself, not let you prepare for me. Although devotees would prepare naturally. I'm just saying, not to depend on someone else. I myself have to, just like Prabhupada in Teachings of Queen Kunti is explaining that you can have the co-pilot train you, but sooner or later you got to fly your own airplane. You got to take over the controls, and this is it, solo flight. So the same way, you know, we have to fly our own plane. So this Krishna consciousness is real. It's as real, it's the only real thing. It's the only absolute truth. There's nothing else but Krishna. Everything is Krishna. The whole universe is nothing but Krishna. Every molecule of energy is nothing but an expansion of Krishna. That's a fact. So we, the soul, can live under the auspices of the internal and the external energy. The internal energy means we have to grasp a spiritual taste. We have to develop a type of attraction to Krishna which is so great that it circumvents the other desires. We have to develop a higher taste. And the higher taste is only to be had by the holy name. Without the holy name, we are finished. Because deity worship, fire jugas, anything, nothing is going to save us without the holy name. And if we can fix ourselves into such a serious motivation, doesn't matter where we're at, whether we're beginning or we're ending, let me hear the holy name, let me chant my mantra. That mantra, that yoga, is yoga. People think yoga is standing on your head, right? Twisting your legs, right? Life Air Force, transmigrating the air through the top of the chakras. That's yoga to them, right? When you tell them yoga means to hear the chanting of the Maha Mantra, they'll say, oh, yeah. Hey, I'm not familiar with that. But I'm telling you, in Kali Yuga, what's the recommended yoga? Yeah, so this is the highest yoga system. And we hear it over and over again. But we say, we think, oh, how can this be the highest yoga? It's not really, we don't really have the different exercises and all this stuff, But the truth is, Prabhupada gave us the most simple, but yet most powerful and most effective means of yoga. We can be great yogis, and we will be great yogis. We will be the greatest of the yogis. Durvasa Muni thought, hey, there's this little king down there, it's Ambarish. He's just some householder king, and I'm the great yogi. And he offended Maharaj Ambarish. What happened? Sudarshan Chakra chased him all the way, even though he's a great yogi. He could go even to Vaikuntha. He ended up at Vaikuntha. And Krishna told him, no, you offended a devotee. Your yoga doesn't save you. Your mystic power doesn't save you. Nothing saves you if you offend a devotee. So it's the most wonderful, wonderful, powerful situation. But yet, it's the most humble. Maharaj Ambarish used to meet me. Oh, please, Prabhu, forgive me. I didn't mean to offend you. It's like when Lord Vishnu, who was it? kicked him.
Bhrigu.
Huh?
Bhrigu.
Bhrigu Muni. Bhrigu.
Yeah, Bhrigu Muni. Bhrigu Muni. And so Lord Vishnu, what's he say? Oh my God. Did I hurt your foot? Oh, my heart and chest. Oh my God. That's the attitude that he emanates. So Vishnu, Vaishnavas, what attitude do we have? We're not thinking, oh, I'm powerful, I'm strong. We're taking shelter. We are taking shelter of the holy name. So the mantra meditation means we're totally in an attitude, a consciousness. I'm lower than the star in the street, more tolerant than the tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. And if you can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly, Maya can't get you. The upsars, all of them, they can't get you. Why? Because you're taking shelter of the holy name. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Over and over and over and over and over and over until you realize Krishna appears in his name. You see Krishna. And when you see Krishna, Oli Oli. You believe it?
There you go.
I'm saying, we have everything. We have it. We got the method. We got the situation. We got everything we need. Now, we have to become yogis. Like Krishna told Arjuna, in all circumstances, always be a yogi. A yogi is one that rises early in the morning, takes his bath, and picks up his beads and chants Hare Krishna. Very seriously. Meditating, hearing, perfecting the mantra, perfecting the art. But the heart is also being cleansed the whole time. What are we thinking? Let my anarthas go. Let these desires go. I don't want any of those. The mind is going to put it there. The mind is going to say, you want this? You want that? You want this? What about this? Wouldn't that be fun? Check this out. And we have our attachments. We're going to say, yeah, hang on to that a little while. Yeah, it's not so bad. It's in the principles, I don't know. It's like we have our little thing going on, whatever it may be. But on the other hand, there's going to come a time where we can't hold on to anything else. It's only going to be one option because the body is not longer going to function. And it explains that life airs choke up, mucus, all that. You can't breathe anymore. And the only thing you have then is your attachment to Krishna, to the holy name. There's nothing else can go with you. So our process is to become very, very serious about hearing and chanting. That's what we are. Prabhupada identified this movement. What are we? We are mantra meditators. We are always chanting Hare Krishna. It's a fact. And, Prabhupada said 24 hours a day. He said like the yogi, the genie, that you've all heard the story, the genie that could do anything in the world, just do so much work for you, but he had one little detail, one little caveat, that if he's not busy, he will kill you. So you have to keep him engaged. So the king was having a hard time keeping this genie engaged, doing everything. He was doing so many things, but he couldn't keep ahead of him, so he built a pole. He said, when you're not doing something to me, go up the pole and down the pole. Up the pole and down the pole. Just stay up, down, so he wouldn't kill him. Prabhupada said it's the same way. When we don't have anything to do, what do? Up the beats, down the beats. Up the beats, down the beats. And all the things that we know about, the mysticism, the attractive energy of the heavenly delights, all these things, they're all contained in the holy name. You may think, it sounds good, but let's get back to the part about the upsar. You know what I'm saying? My mind's still there, right? But the truth is, you don't have to give that up. It's not that big a deal. The truth is, it's contained. Everything is contained in the holy name. The pleasure you're getting there, you get from the holy name. Within your heart, you get the satisfaction. It's all about perception. If you're perceiving yourself, your true identity as spirit soul, that pure original personality that's in this body, you, in that state of consciousness, if you're a pure soul meditating on Krishna, you're totally, 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 totally happy. You're not hankering for anything. But as long as we're in material consciousness, we're still hankering. Hankering and lamenting. Hankering and lamenting, right? So here we go, is absolute truth. The nectar of the holy name contains everything we're hungry for. Everything. No matter how many plates of prasadam you ate, you still want more, don't you? Right? So when you chant Hare Krishna, everything is in the holy name. You're not hungry. You're not thirsty. You're not anything. Your identity as soul is pure, and you're in a pure state of consciousness, seeing Krishna and feeling your eternal relationship with Krishna. You don't think I'm missing something. What about this? There's not. It's everything is there in the holy name, because Krishna's in His holy name. So we have to believe this, and we have to do it. We have to take the holy name, and so we've heard from the Acharyas. How do they say it? Make it your life and soul. Right? So I know I'm an old man. I know it's easy for me to talk, but I'm just saying, if you believe me, no matter what, the senses never satisfied any soul. I've never found happiness in sense gratification, and I've been all over the world many times. I've seen everything you can imagine, and I've never been satisfied. But sometimes when I chant the holy name of Krishna, I feel like happier than I was when I was a small child. I feel a happiness, a peace, a kind of like a pleasure that I can't perceive anywhere else. It's a pleasure. It comes to you and you taste it, and it's so pure and it's so real and it's uncontaminated. That's spiritual pleasure. It's rasa. It's the rasa. Param drishvar devartate. It's the taste we're looking for. And it exists unequivocally in the holy name. So we have to be clean, rise early, chant our rounds, try to serve the Vaishnavas, feeling yourself Lord and start to speak, and we'll tell them to treat the board of all sins of business. In that state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly, and one day we will individually, no one will maybe know about it, there will be no big headlines, Spirit soul goes back home to Godhead, read all about it. The only person that will know is you and those who are intimately connected in the spiritual hierarchy with you. But most people are in the spiritual world. They're not here. We're the minority. Karmis are the minority. So we may look there, well, there's only a few of us here in the temple. No, we have unlimited universes of spiritual world backing us up. The point is that only a few people get to get out. We're those few people who are getting to get out. These fools have to stay. Unless we help them get out. So that's another point. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.